Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfripi and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
In the news tonight, Rumbuka admits lack of Indo-Fijian support for SODELPA. FEO urges the public to be aware of circulated information. And MOG outlines operations during general election.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
SODELPA leader Sitiveni Rumbuka has for the first time admitted the lack of support from the Indo-Fijian community for his party is because of the political upheaval of 1987. With this being the case, Rumbuka has also stated fighting for indigenous rights alone will not win SODELPA the upcoming general election. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Known to be a party that fights for Itoke rights, SODELPA leader Sitiveni Rumbuka has spoken about a change of mindset towards indigenous rights.
It will be so hard for the party to rely on Itoke issues to get us into government, because a lot of Fijians are not interested in some of the things concerning Itoke.
Rumbuka says it will be hard for SODELPA to win votes if they are focused on issues concerning the indigenous people.
We cannot afford to be seen, to be seen as a Toke party. The NATO policy must embrace the interests of the other races.
Getting people from the Indo-Fijian community will be a hard task for SODELPA, and Rumbuka has admitted that other ethnicities have turned away from SODELPA because of his political reputation.
A biggest stumbling block for them is what I did. They are still thinking of 1987 and they forgot 1997.
Knowing the fact that SODELPA will have to dig deep if they are to have a chance of forming the next government, Rumbuka says broadening their campaign issues will get them back on track to achieve the party's goal. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
False reports of election information published on social media have seen the Fijian Elections Office call for the public to be more aware of what is being circulated. The FEO has warned Fijians that electoral information published by outside sources must always be treated with caution, as it is usually false. Akusita Tale has more.
The Fijian Elections Office has warned the public to be very mindful of what they read about the 2018 election across all social media platforms, as the agenda of those who post such information are usually biased.
Because the integrity of the election is dependent on the information that is made available to members of the public, and that information must be respectfully made available by all stakeholders in the most accurate manner.
SANEEM has also called on political parties to be equally responsible for the election, take responsibility and exercise caution when they try and publish election information. If this is not followed, then legal action will be taken.
Such deliberate actions deserve to be investigated through the relevant authorities, and we will take that task.
The Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission is appealing to the public to be voices of reason when using social media platforms.
If there is a prevalence of hate speech on the social media, it's important that people stand up to it, report it to the relevant authorities, report it to the Human Rights Commission, report it to the police if there are people who are trying to incite violence on the social media.
The Prime Minister earlier this week highlighted that with the election campaign picking up, the use of social media is concerning, as many politicians will try and divide Fijians by instilling them with fear and mistrust. He has again reiterated that Fijians cannot tolerate that old, hateful style of politics any longer. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Fijians who turn up at the Fiji First Family Fun Day in Nausori tomorrow will get to know more about the party's policies in the lead up to the election. Leader Voreqe Bainimarama says this will also be an opportunity for Fijians to meet their 51 provisional candidates. He adds Fijians will also be able to know what the party will offer when they come into power again.
We'll be having our first Fiji First rally tomorrow at Nausori. And we are hoping that many will come to see firsthand our candidates and also hear them speak. in here what we have to offer. They will be introducing themselves so that the people will know who they'll be voting for come November the 14th.
The Multinational Observer Group today held its first official press conference to outline their operations in the lead-up to and during the elections. Observer Coordinator Alice Court stated the observers have come with an open mind, will be transparent in their activities and are here to listen to the people of Fiji. Ritika Pratap reports.
Australia, Indonesia and India are co-chairing the Multinational Observer Group, and other countries will join them in the coming weeks.
Between now and polling day, we will be observing a range of electoral processes, including voter registration, and we have begun that process last week and earlier this week, candidate nomination and registration, voting processes, including pre-poll, postal and polling day voting.
Alice Court says the co-leads and the government have agreed on the terms of reference for their activities.
I want to make clear from the outset that the MOG is an independent entity and that we are committed to impartiality, independence and objectivity.
She says it is important that Fijians have confidence in the MOG.
The MOG's mission is to assess whether Fijian voters are able to exercise their right to vote freely and whether the outcome broadly represents the will of all the Fijian voters.
The MOG will stay in Fiji and travel throughout until after polling day, when the votes have been counted, the results decided and disseminated. At the end of the process, they will issue a statement detailing the observations and offer any recommendations they may have for future elections. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The Ministry of Itaukei Affairs, the Itaukei Affairs Board and the Centre for Appropriate Technology and Development have been streamlined to work together as one team with a common vision. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says this is to strengthen the focus on supporting Fijian family values and mainstreaming more Itaukeis into our rapidly modernising economy. Akusita Tale reports the Prime Minister launched their common vision and planning documents for the Itaukei Affairs institutions in Suva today.
Marking the celebration of unity as three historic institutions have been brought together under one banner with a common vision.
And we're reaffirming our commitment to the steadfast protection of our culture, our tradition, and our way of life. We've known for generations of recorded history and long before, while also making sure that every Itaukei feels the tremendous benefits of our economic growth equally.
The Prime Minister also launched the 5-year strategic development plans for the Ministry of Itaukei Affairs and the Itaukei Affairs Board.
Both of these documents capture the hopes, the dreams and the aspirations of thousands of Fijian families. They build on Fiji's historic success under the Fiji First government.
These planning documents articulate the key objectives, both the short and the long term, of the Ministry and the Board, and the activities that we need to undertake to ensure these objectives are met.
Following the blueprint set out by the strategic development plans, the efforts driven by streamlined and a more efficient ministry will bring more Itaukeis into the fold of Fiji's national development and economic prosperity. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Still to come, mental health issues a concern for the Health Ministry. And UN says rights of older persons needs to be protected. Details after the break.
Bula neva ngo malakai leloma ngo ngai nakas ondo magrong na Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Hoya o basit sai lambasa ya ondo talita na warong na Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Gua do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong na Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Wana tunga na Bula FM namba 2 na sere na maluan.
Na vengo fane na tao ngo singa toka kita ondo talita kana Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
1 in 4 adults and 1 in 5 youths suffer from mental health issues. The Minister for Health, Rosie Akbar, says this adds up to 20% of the population in the country suffering from mental health issues, which is a cause for concern. Catherine Krishna reports.
Communicating and sharing matters is one way these numbers can be decreased.
Laughter, smile, joy, where is it? When can you openly share your problems with the next person? where did we lose that trust that we are not talking to people? So we need to go back to that. And any problem, you should not keep it to yourself, believe me. And to all the young people out here, it's very important that you communicate.
Senior Medical Officer at the St. Giles Hospital, Dr. Elizabeth Koroi-Vuki, says the stigma associated with mental health needs to be addressed.
Stigma is still there. It's a very hard thing to break given how we've been grown up, the culture, the traditions. But just to let people know out there that if you see someone who's getting unwell, please get them in, get them the help that they need so they can go back and lead a normal life.
There has been a stigma. Oh, he's mentally challenged, he's a St. Giles patient and stuff like that. That should no longer exist in this modern society.
The Mental Health Day will be celebrated in Lambasa along with the Fiji Day celebrations next weekend. The theme for this year's celebration is Young People and Mental Health in a Changing World. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
In years to come, there will be more persons living in old age homes. United Nations Human Rights Regional Representative Dr. Massey says the UN believes a global response is needed to focus on protecting the rights of older persons so that they are not left isolated. Kritika Kumar reports.
The United Nations Human Rights Regional Representative says the major challenge faced by the residents at old age homes is discrimination, as they feel they are not respected and loved by society.
The fact that we are now looking at being an active member of society versus being isolated and abused, to me that clearly gives a message that there isn't enough respect. Because if you had that respect, we wouldn't be having the figures we're looking at.
Massey says both young and old can benefit from each other's company.
There's still a lot of learning to be done. And there's a lot of learning that you would learn from them and pass on to a future generation.
Meanwhile, the Director of Social Welfare says the residents of homes face loneliness as they don't have anyone to talk to.
Down in their hearts is the feeling of loneliness, of not being wanted. Most of them would say because they have been rejected by families.
Meanwhile, the Old People's Home in Samambula today marked the International Year for Older Persons 2018. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Telecom Fiji Limited today presented a cheque of $7,000 to Save the Children's Fund Fiji. The cheque is to support the organisation's charity golf tournament at the Fiji Golf Club on the 12th of this month. Save the Children Chief Executive Iris McKenzie says last year the organisation helped over 900 schools with educational needs to begin a school year, and that they will continue to do this to meet those needs.
This year our target is to raise over $15,000 for this golf tournament, and that's to particularly help in our work around child protection, to raise awareness in communities about child protection issues, but also with education assistance.
More than 1,000 people are expected to converge at the Denarau Food, Wine and Music Festival, which kicks off tomorrow. Preparations have been ongoing for the one-day festival, with a number of local bands also confirmed to take part. The organisers say the festival starts at 2 p.m. and will continue until midnight.
We're expecting approximately 1,000 people. We've got a kids zone so the little ones are entertained with face painting and jumping castles. We've got a wine bar with some beautiful connoisseur wines on sale, and we have most of the hotels from Denarau represented in our foodies lane. So the food choices are going to be mind-blowing. Really looking forward to it.
Coming up in sports later, Nandronga makes winning start in its IDC opener. But before that, here's Rachel with all the day's business updates.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. NZ announces 3% interest rate for 12 to 18 months deposit. And in Going Fiji Digicel to continue improving their network. Stay with us.
Voila, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Mariva. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic.
business tonight, Fiji and Australia should continue to work together in order to reach the full potential of their relationship and also explore means and ways of further engagement. This was stressed by Minister for Trade, Industry and Tourism Feaz Koya while opening the Fiji-Australia Business Council Forum at the Marriott Resort today. Felipe Naikasa reports.
Two-way goods trade between Fiji and Australia reached $1.1 billion in 2017 and around $187 million worth of Australian investments were registered.
So Fiji offers many opportunities in the traditional economic sectors as well as the rapidly growing sectors like ICT, like manufacturing, tourism, mining, food processing, services and resource-based sectors, to name a few.
The Australian Assistant Minister for Tourism and Investment, who was also at the forum, was asked on what he thought about Fiji not signing the PESA Plus agreement.
Yeah, some of these negotiations take a long time, but it's important. An agreement that doesn't have benefit to everyone is not an agreement that will stand the test of time.
Colton was also pleased to note that Fiji would be heading to the polls on the 14th of next month.
But whoever does come through and wins the next election to lead the country, I'm sure Australia will be very, very happy to work with the choice of the Fijian people.
146 Fijian and Australian business leaders gathered to discuss investment opportunities. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
As a step towards helping build a strong savings culture in the country, ANZ Bank has announced a 3% interest rate for 12 to 18 months with a term deposit of over $500. ANZ Fiji country head Saud Minam says as the largest bank in the country, they recognize the need to take a lead role in helping Fijians become more financially confident. Minam says people need to start saving even if it's a small amount.
Yes, we will make sure that we are the first ones to come out of the market with a 3%, and we continue to do this for a longer period of time rather than a small spurs or promotional deals and all that. So this is the strategy of ANZ Bank to help Fijians to save more money.
And it's time for Sharon to join us with the latest from the money markets.
The US dollar stayed near recent highs as investors evaluated the impact of a global bond retreat. On Wall Street, stocks closed lower as a recent jump by US Treasury yields raised concern about the outlook for interest rates, with 10-year yield reaching its highest levels in over 7 years. Traders now seem worried the Federal Reserve may raise rates more aggressively than anticipated. However, investors are expected to really scrutinize the US government's September payroll report scheduled for later tonight for signs of wage growth, especially in light of sketchy indications of rising wages. Meanwhile, in Australia, consumption expenditure as represented by seasonally adjusted retail sales rose 0.3% in August. This had some impact on the Aussie's performance during the day. And that's all from HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Thanks for the update, Sharon. On to the exchange rates. Once again, the Fiji dollar made gains against the currencies of our biggest trading partners, Australia and New Zealand, but slip against the US dollar and the other currencies we cover. As for the commodities market, oil ended its rise and closed down just under $75 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,199 an ounce and silver closed at $14.56 per ounce. And in Fiji tonight, telecommunications company Digicel is celebrating a decade in Fiji with promises to continue to improve their branded bigger, better network. Digicel Chief Executive Mark Gregg says the company has grown substantially since it was established 10 years ago. It now works to diversify its business portfolio to include the entertainment business. With a month of activities planned for their 10th birthday across the country, Gregg says they will be working on more innovative projects to make communications even more affordable for all Fijians.
Competition is good. In Fiji, we have a very competitive landscape, and that brings many challenges in how we innovate and how we prioritise and how we invest our money. But competition is what has pushed Fiji to become one of the leading telecommunications markets in the region.
And that's a wrap from the business desk for this week. Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports tonight, Tavua upset Rewa in IDC opener.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jackson Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
A major boost for football in the country as Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has announced the government's support to develop the sport. Speaking during the opening of the Coach Inter-District Championship, Bainimarama says he's ready to give his support to the football community. Bainimarama adds our national team should be given the recognition they deserve, especially our women's team, for performing well internationally. He says investing in the sport will also bring smiles to football lovers around the country.
We are prepared to invest in the best coaches, the development of talented young players, and the sporting infrastructure necessary to grow this game bigger and better in Fiji every year.
The Tavua football side created the biggest upset of the day, beating Rewa 2-0 in its opening match of the IDC at ANZ Stadium today. The Giant Slayers showed unbreakable defense, countering all attacks from the Delta Tigers. Meli Tavanga has more.
Vili Naiula Levu made the first save to put them into the lead 1-0 at half-time.
Kasim's kick nodded on infield and a good header and a beautiful goal by Tavua.
Husseini Khan then scored their final goal in the second spell to seal the victory.
Atunai Salivan Alangi inside and to Husseini Khan. Husseini turns and drives.
Coach Nazil Ali says they were prepared for Rewa and have accomplished their game plan to beat Rewa.
Had a game plan that we talked about in camp last night. We knew that Rewa will be vulnerable on the sides, and we used our flanks and yes, a very good start to the tournament.
The Westerners have now set their focus in the next game tomorrow.
And I hope the same good thing continues. We are here on a mission. Last year we finished, we went out of the pools, and this year we are here to make the semi-finals.
Second game is decider. It's a semi-final. First team to qualify for the semi-final, so we're looking forward to the next game.
Tavua meets Nandi at 12 noon, while Rewa battles Suba at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Still with the IDC, the Lambasa football side proved too strong for Nisinu, defeating them 5-1 this afternoon. Rilitati Kautonga and Christopher Wasasala were the stars for the Mbambasing Alliance, both scoring a brace, while Peter Lebadi added one more. Nisinu's goal came from Nasoni Merke in the second spell.
Improvement needs to be done. I think our midfield area needs to be tightened up a little bit. Like I said, the chances, we're creating a lot of chances. The defenders are working overtime. We'll have to keep possession.
Defending senior division champions Nanronga defeated Sianganga 5-2 in its opening match of the IDC this morning. The Stallions got off to a slow start but came out firing in the second spell to register a convincing win. Meli Tavanga has more.
After trailing 2-1 in the first half, Nanronga then regrouped in the second spell, scoring 4 goals to seal the victory.
We are defending champions, and perhaps I think that the idea was that we need to play constructive football, but I think 2 passes was astray and 2 goals 19. But then I reminded the boys that we remain focused, so things can come our way, and it happened.
Coach Joseph Nan says they are now focusing on the next 2 games.
One game is a time, but definitely other teams are very good teams. They are well prepared. We'll have a game plan for the other team.
Senganga coach Sanay Lambera says miscommunication cost them the game.
Something went wrong in the first half. We were leading by 2 goals, and we stick to our game plan, but misunderstanding within the back line cost us 3 goals in the first half, and where the boys lost hope.
Nanronga plays Navua at 10 tomorrow morning, while Senganga meets Taviuni at 12 noon. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, there were no major upsets in the senior division of the IDC today. Tournament favourites Lami secured a win after thumping Savu Savu 4-0, which sees them on top of their pool after day one of competition. Last year's runner-up Navua came from a goal down to beat Tabiuni 2-1, while the Tangi Vonolangi coach, the Tailevu Naita series side, defeated Rakiraki 3-1. Fiji Airways draw halfback Frank Lomani returns to the starting lineup for tomorrow's NRC match against the Canberra Vikings at Churchill Park in Lautoka. Coach Senirusi Servakula has also recalled Penny Naulango in the second row and Cyril Rees, the inside centre. Also returning to the matchday squad in the reserves is Veremalua Vungakoto and Enele Malele, who has recovered from an ankle injury. Meanwhile, Servakula has reminded his players to be patient on attack against the Vikings. He says the visitors will be strong on defense, but he has prepared his team to counter this.
Every time we'll play with open rugby, but because they will work, or a lot of opposition will work on those areas and trying to stop us or delaying in the breakdown. But we just need to be smart and vary our play, and according to the territory we're playing in the A zone or B zone. But we just need to be patient.
Fijian Salesi Rayasi scored a try for Auckland as they secured a late 29-24 comeback victory over Wellington in their Mitre 10 Cup Premiership clash at Westpac Stadium last night. The win lifting Auckland to the top of the Premiership ladder. In today's Play of the Day, LeBron James's first slam dunk as a Laker. James got loose in transition to throw down this slam dunk against the Denver Nuggets in a preseason match, which got fans out of their seats and even drew some excitement from the commentary team. That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. That's coming up.
Narang golesenya, Obama kita nakas, dorong bina kape on Radio Fiji One, nandomo ibit.
Ayaw benyana, kita barong on Radio Fiji One, nandomo ibisi, ihi ngatoka.
Guado ilaisa ngatoka, rong bina na hera makawa ina Radio Fiji One ngatoka.
Radio Fiji One, nandomo ibiti.
Time for weather now with Angie.
Hello to you and to the weekend. A big hello to Friday and to you as well. Hope you're excited for the weekend and events surrounding it. This morning was completely stormy, something we don't look forward to, especially on a Friday, but it completely settled down by midday. Taking a look in the west, a hot sunny day was upon this side. I know the pickles must have been dried by now. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, it turned mild after so much rain and thunderstorms. And up north, sunny as usual. If you're looking for a lush place to visit, then the garden island of Fiji, Tabiuni it is. At sea, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 2:25 a.m. with low tide at 8:55 a.m. Sunrise at 5:45. For tomorrow, it's another day slated for sunshine and showers, and if you happen to watch the IDC Soccer at ANZ Stadium, I suggest you take your umbrellas. Tomorrow's temps, Suva and Savu Savu will be cool at 28 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, a mixed weather situation can be expected. So all the best to your soccer teams and may the best one win. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, which team are you supporting in this year's IDC and why?
I support Lambasa team because it's a good team.
Lambasa, because it's a good team. It's our team.
My bed plays in Ba. I supporting Ba team because Ba is the greatest team.
Suva nene.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Rombuka admits lack of Indo-Fijian support for SADELPA. FEO urges the public to be aware of circulated information, and MOG outlines operations during general election. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment this week, we're asking, are you wearing pink this month to support breast cancer awareness? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, another beautiful sunset captured at First Landing Resort, sent in by Raksha Aradhana. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से। जैसे फ्रेंडी नॉर्थ मशहूर है, वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है, वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।